Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Illinois Arts Council Agency, and by the supportive viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in downtown Springfield near 6th and Adams at Springfield Furniture and Recycled Records. It's a fixture in Springfield. This business has been here for over 100 years through 3 generations. And it's kind of a destination for some people outside of Springfield. But oddly, if you're like me and live in Springfield, you may never have been inside this store. It's about time. Well, one of the first people you're likely to meet when you walk into Springfield Furniture and Recycled Records is Mark Kessler. And your family, Mark, has been in this building, in this business for over 100 years.
Right, 1910, my grandparents opened the store.
Yeah. It didn't look like this.
It did not. It looked more like a furniture store. There were couches and bedroom sets and everything else down here.
Yeah.
They had refrigerators and stoves. They had coal stoves. They had all that.
You could furnish the entire house at Springfield Furniture.
You could, absolutely.
But it doesn't look like that anymore because you have turned this in. Okay, how do you describe this store to people when you say I'm in business and they have never been in here before?
Well, I tell them it's a new and used music store, which essentially is what it started out as. I've always been into antiques all my life. My brother is in this business also, although he's currently missing in action.
He's shy. He didn't want to be part of this, huh?
He did want to be part of it, and I reminded him when it was, and you know.
He just didn't show. Okay.
He's not here. But I've been antiquing all my life, and I think if you give people more choices, if music isn't doing well, and jewelry is, or music goes very well with neon bar signs, because people that listen to music like bar
like
signs.
To have a bar. Sure.
Right,
Yeah.
and they also like stereo equipment. So we just kind of, the more items you have to sell, if one of them goes south, you got to shout with the other stuff.
The first thing you see when you walk in is this jewelry counter. And I said, well, you know, Mark, do you have anything really valuable? And he says, oh yeah, we buy good stuff.
We do buy, well, I mean, we buy some stuff that isn't quite as good sometimes too, but we do buy good stuff. And sometimes people are surprised when they walk in the door, which is why it's up here, because a lot of times you'll have a guy walk in with his wife who has no interest in the music, although more and more the ladies are just as interested in the music. They always stop at the jewelry case, which is fine.
It is fine. I asked you to pull out some of your more remarkable items here, and I think you liked these the best, did you? These earrings.
Well, I like the carat and 1
ring.
3/4 carat diamond ring.
Oh my goodness.
That's 18 carat.
What do you have that marked to sell?
It's at 4,500.
Oh, it's beautiful. And somebody brought that into you.
They did, and I paid them a lot of money for it.
I'll bet you did. I'll bet you did.
Earrings are 14 carat.
These are gorgeous
a half
too.
carat diamond on each side. These are 18 carat, and there's approximately 1.5 carat of diamonds in each earring. So 3 carat total weight, probably plus. We've got...
I'm looking at the Illinois watch here.
It's in Illinois.
Made in Springfield, Illinois. I think this is the explanation paper back here. I think we determined it was 1885.
1885, size 18, lever set.
Gorgeous.
Runs perfectly.
$350. Well, it's an Illinois watch. Of course it runs perfectly.
Yeah, of course it does.
But you have other interesting watches too. Okay. A Mickey Mouse watch.
Early Mickey Mouse watch.
Okay, so this would be from what, maybe the 40s maybe?
Well, I'm going to say 50s and cover myself. I haven't.
155. Oh, 1947 to 1953. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you also have a
were
Pluto.
both right.
Yeah, a Pluto watch
Which
too.
is probably rare in the Mickey Mouse watch.
I'll bet it is.
Because a lot of people like Mickey Mouse, and you can't find that many Pluto collectors.
In its day, it was $695. It still got the price tag on it.
That was probably a lot of money when they bought that.
And you're only asking $85.
I know. It's a good markup if you can do that.
Now, this is a really interesting item. These are cufflinks, but one of them has a watch built in.
A working watch in it. They're 14 karat gold. The other cufflink is like a signet ring, only nobody has put their initials on it, which makes it really nice if you're going to buy these for somebody, if they want to put their initials.
Personalize it yourself.
Yeah.
And then we got a presidential.
Well, I think that's the most interesting piece on the whole table. It may not be worth the most money. You don't find a lot of cameos of men. And this man was Grover Cleveland, obviously a president of the United States. Probably they made, I don't know how many, not a lot. It's 14 karat. It was made for his funeral.
Ah.
And I don't know if, I can't tell you there were 50 of them made. I don't know if there were 100 of them.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And it's a really rare piece.
And this is gorgeous too, boy. If you can get a close-up of this, you can see that the buck from probably the Black Forest of Germany, because on the other side it looks like a Rhine River excursion trip. Oh man, that's beautiful. $350, gorgeous watch.
It is a gorgeous watch. Oh. It is very, very pretty watch.
And this whole counter, let's take a little walk here. This whole counter is, a lot of this is estate jewelry, but these were all personal belongings of folks who just found you.
This is all sterling through here. Everything in here is sterling. About half of this case is sterling. And then you get into there's some war medals and associated things.
And a toucan, you can't have a counter without a toucan on it.
You can't. These spoons are all sterling spoons related to Lincoln or Indians.
Lincoln or Indians?
Yeah, mostly Lincoln. And they're kind of hard to
They're
find.
all engraved, right?
Yeah.
That's how you know what, okay. And then more jewelry, of course. I asked you to get one of the items that you thought was really curious and that people would really find fascinating. I didn't even know what this was.
I don't think most people have seen one of these. I didn't know what it was when it walked in the door here. I had never seen one. Well, I mean, it's pretty early. It's 1959.
What is it?
It's a Philco TV. It's a Philco Safari TV because you could pick it up and take it with you. Still has the working antenna. It goes all the way up. It's got the cord, hooks in the back, or it can be run on batteries. I have not done all of that.
Take it wherever you want, as long as you're within range of a VFW station, you can pick it up.
Yeah, well, or the battery. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. That is remarkable. What's the price tag on this baby?
It's $250.
$250.
I've never seen another one. I've seen a lot of stuff in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, listen, we got a lot of ground to cover here because you're called Recycled Records, so we got to get to the music.
We'll get to music.
Okay.
You can't go through here with no music.
Okay, let's go. Let's get to the music.
Okay.
On our way to the music, Mark, I can't help but look at these pastel phones. Is there a market for pastel phones?
There's a market for telephones that are. Yes, there is a market for them. They don't have to be pastel, as long as they're rotary dial phones.
The rotary dial phones.
People, the nostalgia people like them. If they have a 50s or 60s room, you can still plug them in and use them like a phone. I mean, I know people don't have a lot of landlines. The pastel colors are just harder to find than the black phone that everybody had, and the yellow phone that there's a couple of here are easy to find.
Yeah.
The offbeat colors are better.
Yeah.
Red is better. The pink phone is really kind of rare.
Yeah, yeah, and that's you're asking $65 for the pink phone. I liked this one too. This one I had never seen a cradle positioned like that.
Well, this is a phone from like 1929, 1930. And now this phone can be wired to work in your living room. I mean, you can put it on the wall and you can talk on it. That's what people like about them. It's not something they have to put on a shelf and they can do nothing with.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I have a couple coins in my safety deposit box. I haven't seen them in 10 years. You know, you can use this in your everyday life if you choose to.
Yeah, if you can still remember how to do it. Most people don't even know how to do that anymore. Okay, we're headed to the music. We're doing some business here too. That's good.
That's good. It keeps the doors open.
Yep. Okay, we're looking up at, now we've reached the music section. We've got guitars and stereo speakers and all sorts of cool equipment here if you're into the music, production of music. This one is pretty remarkable, and I liked it because you showed us how it can be a piece of furniture and it rolls around wherever you need to take it.
And I have the key for this lock.
This is a production studio, isn't it?
Yes, it's a Fosdec 8-track reel-to-reel recorder and a Fosdec soundboard and a cabinet made professionally. It's a pretty neat piece of equipment.
Yeah, this is custom made for this equipment.
Well, it's made by a company that makes cabinets. It's meant to be, if you're going to do a gig and you're in a band, you can roll this on and off of a truck. I mean, it's got pretty good sized wheels, and The cord on this, which will mean something to your sound guy over here, is retractable on the back, which is pretty cool what they've done to the back of this. So it's a really neat piece of equipment.
Can we roll it out? Is there a way to roll it out?
Absolutely.
See?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure. That is neat. How old do you think this thing is? You have any idea?
I don't
50s,
know
60s?
I don't know that it's that old. Yeah. If you want to see it set up, I can do that. It takes 30 seconds, but that's up to you.
I don't think so. Thank you anyway.
Okay.
I'm looking at this right here. This just came in the store, right?
2006 Fender 50th anniversary Stratocaster that we bought this week.
You don't find a lot of those, do you?
First one we've had.
Is that right? And you've had a lot of musical instruments in here. A Stratocaster. Even I recognize that name. Yeah, yeah. There's your brother. All right, he showed up. Okay, more music. Now, over on our right, if you look at this wall here, you've got an enormous selection of neon signs. Why? Neon signs.
Neon signs go well with people that like music. They have man cave. Well, now they have man caves. When we started buying them, I don't think they had man caves, but they go well with any bar in your basement, you know, and can't find them that easily.
Yeah, that's where the music's going to be, is probably in your man cave or your bar, and that's where you want
I have people that decorate their garage with them. They got a heated garage and they spend time out there. So there's a lot of different places you can put them.
Do they last in the store very long, or do they go pretty quick?
Some do and some don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't.
Give me an example of one that would fly off the shelf. I mean, is there something that there's a big demand for?
Well, they're timely stuff. Yeah, Super Bowl one. Give me a Super Bowl one in January and I'll sell it. You know, or give me a Mardi Gras one right before Mardi Gras. I mean, Cardinals ones will sell. Cubs will sell. You know, if you have a New England one. There's nobody from New England here.
Yeah.
It should be like selling a Cubs one in Boston.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, more CDs here.
Didn't know where you were.
My eventual. Now this is a piece of equipment used for what? This Gibson.
A guitar amplifier.
Guitar amplifier.
1952.
Made by Gibson.
Made by Gibson. All original. Original speaker. Original cloth front. Been painted, I'm sure, but in remarkably good shape.
Yeah. Has this been here a while?
Well, I had it, and I sold it, and I bought it back from the guy. So on and off, it's been here a little while.
He got tired of it.
He called me and wanted to know if I'd buy it back, and I said I would.
$1,400. That's all you're asking is $1,400.
Well, what I'm asking and what I'm going to get might be two different things.
Would that Stratocaster, would that plug into this thing?
Sure.
It would work.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's
any guitar that's got a plug on it would work on this.
Yeah. That's what you want to do, is marry those babies up.
However they want them.
Okay, more equipment. Now, what I'm looking at, I'm looking forward to getting to these albums that you have on the wall up here. And these are all vinyl, of course.
They're all vinyl.
And some of them are very old, from the 50s and 60s. And if we look at the middle panel, you've actually found the panel to put these up with, and this is a piece of an antique in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an RCA Victor pegboard that was bought at a garage sale.
How did you get it home? It's
huge.
huge.
Probably I had Gary pick it up.
Huge.
I don't know that, but he seems to handle bigger pieces.
Were you able to
better
get
than
it
I do.
locally? Did that come?
Yeah, it did come locally.
Uh-huh.
It's been quite a while ago. I don't remember whose garage it came out of, but I asked if it was for sale, and they said it is, and I knew I wanted it when I saw it.
Yeah. These are very, very interesting pieces up there. Now, the one I'm looking at up on the top toward the left, the Beatles album, that may be your most expensive album in the store.
I think it is currently. It's $1,200, but the main reason it's $1,200 is because it's stereo, and it's a rare album in stereo. In mono, it's probably a $300 album. There are albums like that. There are certain labels where finding stereo is very, very hard, and you'll find out a mono copy is worth $100 and a stereo copy is worth $600. And on some albums, it's exactly the opposite. The mono copies are worth more. The Beatles mono copies are worth more than stereo copies. There's a lot of these albums are interesting, and some of them have ties to Springfield. So that one that looks like a zebra over there is all garage bands from the 60s with pictures of the bands from, I don't know if it was Feichens or Southeast at the time.
Oh, all local kids,
It's all local. Southeast, Lanphier, Springfield, and that it's a very rare album.
Well, surely somebody would want to get a hold. Somebody who's playing on that album would want to get a hold of that if they
I've
knew it
sold
existed.
most of them out of town.
Is that right?
I have. We've sold several of them to like Minneapolis and Kansas City area, and they bring a significant amount of money.
Gary, we haven't had a chance to meet you yet. We were with your brother, Mark. But you and your brother Mark founded this records company when your parents were still running the furniture store, right?
Yes, we did.
In fact, we were down there. That little balcony right there is where you started stacking your records.
1980, we started with 300 records on the balcony.
You started with 300 records, and now you've got 30,000. That figures out nicely, doesn't it?
Well, yes, and all this other stuff.
I know, we've seen a lot of other stuff.
We specialize in the rare and unusual. We have mounted fish on the wall, a little bit of everything.
We're going to walk back to your historic section. We're on the second floor now, and this is where most of the vinyl is, right?
Yes.
And the vinyl is what you guys are really famous for. I mean, you got a lot of stuff in here, and it's good stuff, and we saw some of the jewelry and some of the music, but it's the vinyl, isn't it, that people come for?
It is. We are first and foremost a record store. The best thing we ever did was we never stopped buying vinyl.
And the market is even better now than it was some years ago, isn't it?
It's like it was when we started in the 80s.
It's still the same, really?
Well, there were drop-offs in between, but it's similar to what it was when we started.
Well, I keep hearing that there's a new appetite for vinyl.
Well, people have remembered that nothing sounds better than a good piece of vinyl on good equipment. It turns out, whenever you digitally enhance this music, you're losing a little bit with each advance. A little less of the tops and the bottoms. By the time you get to an MP3 player, the music is unrecognizable.
Is that right? So people who are getting who are streaming their music don't know what they're missing?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It just sounds a lot better. The only exception might be classical music, because a lot of people want classical music to sound absolutely perfect. If you're listening to the Stones go off my cloud, do you want it to sound perfect? It was always
you want to hear Jagger's raspy voice, right?
It was always supposed to be dirty and have an edge to it. But vinyl just sounds better.
Yeah.
Plus, you get the liner notes. You get to hold it in your hand, and of course, never forget, you can't roll a joint on a download.
That's what the cover's for. Hey, okay, we just walked past about 30,000 albums.
We did.
My destination was the historic section, because you say that you have one of the best historic sections in the country.
I do.
Show us some of it.
Well, let's see. We have your Nixon album. We have space albums. Man on the Moon, Eagle Has Landed. We have a lot of World War I, World War II, and Revolutionary War titles. Here we have the Rise and Fall of the Third Reich.
Now, what in the world? Okay, so this would be a symphony orchestra, and with singers, and I'm not sure what the music would be that the Third Reich. But there's another one with Hitler on it, Chamberlain, and Munich. Fascinating. Now, also, hey, people are crazy about trains. You got a whole train section.
We do. There's some very cool albums in here. Here's one with first recorded on Edison albums. Just all manner of stuff.
Memories of Steam. Some of these are sound effects, and some of them are music, huh?
Well, they're all
And folk songs.
Yeah, but they are all train songs and sounds. And we also have a civil rights section here. And Adventures in Negro Music. So we pretty well cover the board here. And it all kind of goes together with historical.
Yeah. And you're the only one that really knows where it all goes, right? Because you categorize everything.
I file every record up here, so it goes to the right place. Someone has to know where they all are.
Down here These are all, are they 78s?
These are all 78s.
Is this the way they used to, collect 78s in albums like that?
Absolutely. And the ones down here still have the original records in the original albums.
That makes them more valuable, doesn't it? Okay, so you know that this is actually dates it for you, and you know that this album goes with that cover. I want to just grab one here, just to see an example. Grand Canyon Suite.
That's not a good example.
That's not a good example?
Well, it's classical music. It is.
Yeah.
But it's unpopular. There are a lot of these are
To each
jazz.
his own.
They're pretty
to
cool.
each his own. I want to turn around and take a look at this here because these are fascinating examples right here. You call these Edison records.
These are the original Edison albums. They have a picture of Edison on them. They were made between 1870 and 1920. They're mostly a historical curiosity. They're just cool. The newer ones have paper sleeves. Newer.
Yeah.
But most of them have a picture of Edison on them, and they're
See how thick these are. Look how thick these are.
they're about 3/8 of an inch.
And this was the technology at the time. This was the best they could do, huh?
Well, this was the very beginning. Like I say, they started in 1870.
What do they sound like? Have you ever heard one? Can you play them?
Well, you can play this like you can play any 78.
Yeah.
You have to use 78 speed on your turntable. Yeah. But they're scratchy, and the musicians aren't necessarily great. It's not the kind of music anyone these days is really looking for, because music tastes have changed slightly in the last 100 to 150 years.
Sure it is. But if you're a musicologist, you would want to have one of these because they trace the history of the recording industry.
They
right?
do. And they are hard to find. Like I say, they're a historical curiosity. I have several, but they really don't turn up very often. They're just kind of neat.
Yeah, they are neat. I've never seen one before. And now you've got international. You've got Irish music here. We're right in the St. Patrick's Day season.
We have
hundreds and hundreds. There's the Clancy brothers. Most people have heard
a lot of
them.
Irish.
More
But
than
we have kind of every. We have almost every country here. We've got Iceland.
Iceland.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what Icelandic music sounds like.
You know,
I should. I should take one home. Fascinating. Hey, thanks, Gary.
You're very, very well. There are a lot of neat albums out there.
Well, Mark, we just had an interesting visit with your brother Gary upstairs,
Okay.
and in his 30,000 collection album of vinyl up there. Very, very interesting up there. You also, I mean, I'm fascinated by the fact that both of you are able to value things, put a value on things, and be able to make money based on how much you know about the items that come in here. And, you know, I often hear you talking on the radio about buying gold. And so it turns out this morning, before we got here, you bought some gold.
I did.
So, you know, it's
like
a fascinating...
$900 to $1,000 worth of gold.
It's a fascinating procedure. If you would show us how you process this.
Well, if they bring something in, now in this case, this is called a loop. It's just a magnifier, whatever you want to call it.
This is a
here
okay.
will magnify. And in this case, it's written on the end down here, which is hard to read. But if you put the loop on it, it brings it up, and it says that it is 14 karat. Okay, so that's part of that and that. These are both marked 14 karat on the ring. This is marked 14 karat on the end down here.
All reputable manufacturers will mark it?
They will, and some irreputable manufacturers will mark it. You kind of get a feel for it if you do enough of it. This, the guy tried to sell me as silver, but it's actually 14 karat, and I wouldn't let him do that. So I won't let people cheat themselves.
Right.
I just won't do it.
Okay, so you paid gold price for what he thought was silver.
Right,
okay.
Exactly. And these are that's all 14 karat. This is 10 karat, and it's marked on the inside of the ring. I think one of these is actually, there's a lesson to be learned here. One of these is marked 585. It would be one of these things over here. 585 in Europe, they use the decimal equivalent of 14 karat. Pure gold is 24 karat. So 14 karat gold would be 14/24.
Okay.
And if you divide that out, you would get 0.585.
A little over 50%.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you take 10 karat and divide that out, it would be 3.75. And 18 karat would be 18/24. That's an easy one. So now you're at 750.
Right.
So a lot of times people say, well, this isn't gold because it's not marked 14 karat, but it's marked 585. So depending on where you take it, they may not tell you that if they don't think you know that. I'm not saying everybody wouldn't. Some places do and some don't. So
you pride yourself in giving people more for their gold than they can get anywhere else, but you don't hang on to it very long, do you?
No, not normally. You can work pretty close with people, and all you have to do is be fair with them. My brother told you this before, but if you're fair with somebody and they have more gold to scrap, they'll come to you.
Yeah.
If they have friends that want to scrap something and they've had a good experience here, they will come back. If they have a lot of gold and they don't want to sit here and do it at my desk because there's people walking back and forth, we've been here since 1910 and they kind of know us, so they'll say, why don't you come out to the house and bring your scale and we'll do it then.
Yeah. It's important to weigh it.
I couldn't buy it without weighing it. I could guess, but it wouldn't be.
But that's what this does.
That's what
Can you
that
show,
does.
How does that
Yeah,
work?
sure.
It's just a little digital scale?
Yeah, yeah. I weigh gold in penny weight. That's DWT is penny weight. You throw this on, it's going to get heavier real quick.
Okay, we're up to 20, 26,
Not much more.
27.3.
And then you say, how much per penny weight are you going to pay them? And you multiply that. You know, if you're paying them $30 a penny weight, it would be times 27.2. It'd be $816.
And you just bought $900 worth of gold
Well,
this morning.
I
isn't that
bought
what you
this
said?
is 10 karat, and there was a little bit of sterling involved by what I bought.
Hey, I want to thank you and Gary for your time here today, and I want to wish you good luck.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for coming down and doing a story.
You're very
with
welcome.
us.
We wish them good luck because for about the past 6 months, recycled records and Springfield furniture have been on the market. So what they would like to do, the brothers would like to keep it recycled records, but anytime that anybody's interested in looking around just to buy or to buy a business, recycled records still here for now. With another Illinois story in downtown Springfield, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Illinois Arts Council Agency, and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.